It's hard to imagine a time when Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds weren't Hollywood's golden sweethearts, admired by fans and adored by famous friends. But in a bizarre twist of events, the duo is suddenly facing mounting backlash. And it's coming from people who used to stand firmly in their corner. From ex-boyfriends to personal trainers and even superstar pals, it seems everyone is picking a side. And to the couple's utter dismay, the side they're choosing is Justin Baldoni's. How did we get here? And why is everyone fleeing Blake and Ryan's camp so quickly? Whispers of tension began on the set of It Ends With Us, adapted from the best-selling novel. Initially, fans rejoiced at the idea of Blake Lively headlining yet another promising film, this time alongside the ever-upbeat Justin Baldoni. But almost overnight, rumors emerged about behind-the-scenes conflict. Witnesses claimed Blake and Ryan were leveraging their star power to dictate production decisions, allegedly pressuring cast and crew to follow certain orders. More shocking still were suggestions of a coordinated effort to isolate Justin. They say the couple used their A-list network to intimidate him into surrendering creative rights, something he had championed from day one. Though the rumors sounded outlandish, one by one, big names began stepping forward, showing subtle yet unmistakable signs that they no longer wanted to be associated with Hollywood's favorite power couple. By now, the tension wasn't just about a film set. Suddenly, everything in the Lively Reynolds empire felt unsteady. The bigger question was, who else would jump ship next? Penn Badgley's name first lit up the tabloids when he famously dated Blake during their Gossip Girl days. To observers, it seemed inevitable that Penn would forever remain in her corner, or at least remain neutral. However, fans noticed something peculiar. Penn had unfollowed Blake on Instagram while still following Justin. This was no ordinary slip of the thumb. It looked deliberate. Digging deeper, we find an unlikely friendship blossoming between Penn and Justin. They share not just professional camaraderie but also religious beliefs, both practicing the Baha'i faith that emphasizes unity and men's advocacy for women's rights. Penn even invited Justin onto his podcast to discuss personal values, demonstrating that their bond transcends typical showbiz acquaintances. When the swirling allegations of harassment and creative sabotage emerged, Penn never publicly defended Blake. Instead, he offered quiet but meaningful support for Justin. Perhaps the simplest explanation is that Penn knows Justin's core values and he trusts his version of events. Either way, the fact that Blake's ex-boyfriend would align with her alleged adversary is one of the biggest clues that something is seriously amiss in Lively Reynolds land. Colleen Hoover is the beloved author behind It Ends With Us. Her name alone can catapult any book to the top of bestseller lists. In 2019, Justin Baldoni approached her about turning It Ends With Us into a film. The deal seemed like a match made in heaven. Justin had a passion for heartfelt storytelling, and Colleen's loyal readers were ready for a cinematic adaptation. But the moment Blake Lively became attached to the project, the dynamics changed. Initially, Colleen seemed flattered by Blake's star power. She even posted a glowing tribute calling Blake an honest, supportive partner in adapting the story. Publicly, Colleen gave the impression she was siding with whoever held the most Hollywood clout, and that was Blake. Then everything imploded. Justin reportedly presented receipts to the press, demonstrating how the production was initially his brainchild, how he had championed the adaptation, and how certain promises Blake made behind the scenes began to unravel. Suddenly, Colleen's bright-eyed support for Blake fell silent. In a swift move, she deactivated her social media accounts. Fans speculated she was trying to avoid a brewing legal storm. Indeed, rumors circulated about a potential lawsuit Colleen might file to protect her name, claiming she'd been misled or made promises that never materialized. Colleen's abrupt disappearance from the online world speaks volumes. For someone who thrives on reader engagement, ghosting her massive following is no small decision. It's the clearest sign yet that even the author, once enthralled by the Lively Reynolds brand, wants distance from any forthcoming public relations nightmare. A-list friends stepping away is one thing, but family members washing their hands of the controversy is something else altogether. Blake's brother-in-law, Bart Johnson, married to her half-sister Robin Lively, originally jumped headfirst into the fray, defending Blake and savaging Justin in a series of public comments. He called Justin a fraud, accused him of wearing a hero costume for show, and insisted everyone had been duped by Justin's veneer of kindness. Barely a month later, Bart reversed course. After Justin filed a well-detailed lawsuit laying out the alleged intimidation tactics and contractual violations, Bart publicly apologized. He stated his regret for making unkind remarks and acknowledged he might have rushed to judgment. Some interpret this about-face as proof that the evidence Justin possesses may be more damning than anyone thought. It suggests Bart, who once believed his sister-in-law's narrative wholeheartedly, realized there was far more to this story than meets the eye. The shift also indicates a bigger problem for Blake. If her own brother-in-law is no longer confident in her version of events, what about the many friends and acquaintances who have far less loyalty? The family fallout is often the biggest indicator that trouble runs deep. Few celebrity friendships are as famously documented as that of Blake Lively and Taylor Swift. They've vacationed together, shared sweet pictures on social media, and even had each other's kids cameo in music references. So when Blake came under fire, it was natural for people to assume Taylor would rise to her defense. And according to some sources, that's exactly what Blake and Ryan counted on. An alleged text message leak paints a different picture. In these messages, Blake reportedly referred to Taylor as one of her dragons, implying that Swift's massive fan base and influence could serve as a powerful intimidation tool against Justin. This suggests that Taylor might not have even known her name was being used to push Justin into creative concessions. When the text conversations made their way to the press, Taylor's team immediately disavowed any involvement in the behind-the-scenes power plays. They clarified that Taylor's presence at certain production meetings was purely coincidental. She happened to be visiting Blake and stumbled upon a heated discussion. Regardless, the damage was done. Taylor felt cornered, used as a weapon, and named in a $400 million lawsuit. The final straw? Discovering that Blake specifically told others Taylor had greenlit major casting decisions, something Taylor's camp insists she never had real authority over. Feeling betrayed, Taylor Swift stepped away from the couple entirely. She even rescinded invitations to exclusive events, including her Super Bowl luxury suite, a place once reserved for her closest friends. Losing a friend as influential as Taylor is a catastrophic blow to Blake's social power. Before Blake, there was Scarlett Johansson. Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett had a whirlwind marriage that ended with talk of tension and control issues. At the time, few public details emerged beyond the usual irreconcilable differences. But as the drama around Blake and Justin intensified, a new name appeared among those quietly rallying around Justin: Scarlett Johansson. Rather than releasing statements on social media, Scarlett let her actions speak for themselves. In February 2024, she began a directorial project called Eleanor the Great, with Justin Baldoni listed as a lead producer through his Wayfarer Studios. Many in the industry see this partnership as a subtle but powerful message. She supports Justin's vision and, by extension, distances herself from her ex-husband and his wife. Speculation runs rampant about her personal motivations. Did she witness similar controlling behavior during her marriage? Does she empathize with Justin's struggles? Whatever the reason, it's telling that one of Ryan's exes feels comfortable linking her brand to Justin in such a public way. If anything, it underscores the growing consensus that the Lively-Reynolds duo is not invincible after all. When celebrities talk about their fitness gurus, it's typically all praise and positivity. For years, Blake Lively has given heartfelt shout-outs to her personal trainer, Don Saladino, crediting him for helping her regain her figure post-pregnancies. The bond seemed unbreakable, with Don often tagging Blake and Ryan in playful social media posts. Enter Justin Baldoni. According to rumors, Justin reached out to Don before filming a physically demanding scene with Blake, hoping to get pointers on how to safely lift his co-star. Don passed along Justin's questions to Blake, and Blake reportedly bristled, interpreting it as some sort of insult regarding her weight or a breach of boundary. Tensions flared further when Don tried to mediate, only to get caught in the crossfire. As the scandal spiraled, fans noticed Don quietly unpinned photos and removed Deadpool-related highlights from his Instagram page. He'd once proudly showcased his close relationship with Ryan. Now, there's no trace of it. Meanwhile, Don posted a cryptic snippet about how true character is revealed when pressure is applied, which many interpreted as a dig at Ryan. Like many others, Don appears to be distancing himself from the couple, showing subtle support for Justin by clearing away any outward signs of loyalty to Blake and Ryan. The real explosion came when Justin Baldoni filed a lawsuit that some claim could be worth upwards of $400 million. He alleges that Blake and Ryan attempted to strong-arm him out of the It Ends with Us project he helped develop, using intimidation and broken promises. From hush-hush deals to alleged contract violations, the lawsuit has everything you'd expect from a Hollywood thriller. At first, the idea that Blake Lively, known for her comedic banter with Ryan on social media, could be so ruthless seemed inconceivable. Yet, with each passing day, more documents leak, showcasing text messages, email chains, and other evidence that paint an entirely different picture. Blake's comedic charm fades in the face of allegations that she orchestrated an elaborate scheme to control the film adaptation from start to finish. And Ryan isn't spared either. Sources reveal he fueled the intimidation factor by referencing his powerful connections, possibly including cameo privileges and marketing deals. Now, industry heavyweights are forced to choose sides in this messy tug of war. The lively Reynolds brand, once so spotless, teeters under the weight of scandal. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni is determined to hold his ground, shielded by allies who feel betrayed by the star couple. Legal experts predict a drawn-out battle that could reshape how Hollywood power plays are handled going forward. After all, if a beloved duo like Blake and Ryan can fall from grace so suddenly, it makes everyone else wonder who might be next. It's astonishing how quickly the tide can turn against Hollywood royalty. From ex-boyfriends and co-stars to family members and longtime friends, each defection from Team Lively Reynolds speaks volumes about what might be happening behind the scenes. Penn Badgley, Colleen Hoover, Bart Johnson, Taylor Swift, Scarlett Johansson, one by one, they've each found a reason to detach themselves from the couple's looming legal and moral quagmire. Despite Blake and Ryan's immense public appeal, this saga hints that their carefully curated image could be cracking at the seams. Will they manage to steer their legacy back to safer shores, or is this the start of a dramatic downfall? Only time will tell, especially if Justin's legal salvo continues to gain momentum. One thing's for sure, in a world where reputation is everything, they'll need more than witty social media banter to weather the storm that's barreling their way. Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious, stay sharp, and be sure to watch closely as the drama unfolds, because from the look of things, we're nowhere near the end of this story.